Hello there, fellow Screamsters. I am California's Great America Haunt Updater, and today I bring you the incredibly overdue Haunt 2016 Thoughts video. Today's video is going to detail my thoughts on the mazes, scare zones, and skeleton key rooms that were offered during the 2016 Haunt season. I will not be covering the shows, since I've never had time to see the shows in their entirety. Though I must say, the bits and bobs that I have seen of the Nightwalkers and Blood Drum shows have been incredible. Each category has been listed from newest edition to oldest edition. Since some years have seen two or more editions in a particular category, each individual year has been alphabetized. Let's begin with the mazes, the forefront of the entire Haunt event. Our first maze is in Sanitarium / Dead and Breakfast, located in the Rue Ladage Bumper Car building. In Sanitarium was based off of the Agnew Mental Asylum, and he took you through a mental institution that was destroyed by the famed 1906 earthquake. In Sanitarium was removed a couple of weeks into the 2016 season due to complaints regarding the maze's portrayal of the mentally ill, being replaced by Dead and Breakfast. Dead and Breakfast is a bed and breakfast where an earthquake demolished the entire building. It used the same layout and design as in Sanitarium, but all references to an asylum were removed. Hands down, in Sanitarium was my favorite maze. I loved the theming, the layout, and the feeling that you're walking in circles through the same scenes again and again, even though you weren't. The scares were lovely, and the makeup designs were perfect. Dead and Breakfast, on the other hand, was obviously created just to make in Sanitarium not a sanitarium. It had the exact same scenes and walkthrough, but was a different theme overall. If Dead and Breakfast returns for the 2017 season, I would like to see a new design to make the maze fit the theme better, rather than a rehash of the original theme. Next, we have Roadkill Roadhouse, located in a tart behind the Panda Express / Candy Cafe. This maze is themed to a restaurant where humans are captured and slaughtered for food, and the maze takes you through the storage area, freezers, and shipping departments to show the whole process. When this maze debuted in 2014, I didn't like it. It didn't scare me, and I found it too similar to the previous year's Slaughterhouse Annihilation maze, even though some props from Knott's Berry Farm's retired Slaughterhouse maze were put to use. However, when 2015 came along, I was genuinely frightened by the maze. For some reason, it creeped me out. A lot. I'm pretty sure it was the fact that the group in front of me took a wrong turn, leaving me alone throughout the second half of the maze. 2016 was no different. The new additions and the new path made it a solid maze. Since the skeleton key room wasn't being used, they added it into the actual maze. The next maze on the list is Wax Museum Chamber of Horrors, located in a warehouse near Planet Snoopy, formerly Kidsville. Wax Museum takes place in, a wax museum, featuring all kinds of figures of criminals and murderers. However, these wax figures have taken on a life of their own. I love this maze for the simple yet fun game of guessing which figures are real and which are not. It's also very cool to see different characters from many kinds of media, such as legends like the Loch Ness Monster and plays like the Phantom of the Opera lurking inside. Overall, 2016 was a great year for this maze, especially with the new facade taken from the retired Black Magic maze at Knott's Berry Farm. Now we move to Dia de los Muertos, located behind Gold Striker in the old IMAX Pictorium. This maze is themed after a Spanish town where an old legend takes over the town and its dark jungle. This maze is also the only maze using ChromaDepth 3D technology, meaning you can buy 3D glasses for $1 that make the colors and paintings pop out. The details in this maze are incredible. Lots of time was taken to make the walls look gorgeous, and it shows. Rather than being a dark maze where black walls could be used, the entire maze is lit by black lights, meaning there's more chance for readable detail. The 3D is definitely worth it, and even though this maze isn't scary like Roadkill is, its details make the entire experience enjoyable. Up next is Zombie High, located in a warehouse behind the Grizzly, where you'll be walking through Bayside High School, a school that has been infested with zombies. This maze and Roadkill Roadhouse are the two Gorefest mazes, meaning the walls will be littered with blood. There's lots of mangled bodies, chewed off limbs, and plenty of brains to go around. The flow of this maze is very good and very well crafted. When you walk through the maze, you feel like you're in a high school and not just walking through something supposed to resemble a high school. I love the theater scene, which is the best scare in the maze, and the prom scene. Overall, this maze is a maze worth checking out. The fifth maze on our list is Madame Marie's Massacre Manor, or as I call it, The maze surrounds a mansion in Louisiana where the wealthy owner, Madame Marie, is a voodooist, ready to enchant anyone who dares to step foot in her mansion. This maze is tied with Dia de los Muertos for the best detailed maze. I love the details in this maze. It makes you feel like you're in an old mansion. The maze is littered with antiques and cobwebs, adding to the feeling. The ending was supposedly changed. However, I only saw an upgrade to the final scene, not a total change. A few of the scenes before that did change, though. The maze also received a new sign outside, which made it look a lot cooler than the logo that is shown here. Is my second favorite maze, being bested only by Insanitarium. Let's move on to our next maze, Toy Factory, located in a building in front of the Grizzly/Drop Tower area. This maze centers itself around a toy factory where any part the employees can get their hands on are used to make the toys and dolls, including human parts. Being introduced in 2009, this maze theme has been used quite a lot, and its age is starting to show. Great America completely changed the look and design of this maze in 2013, and they've added scenes each year after that. 2016 saw the addition of a mirror maze, using the mirrors from Mirror Mirror and new props out front, including a new entry prop made of alphabet blocks. The maze hasn't scared me much since I first went through it, and the theme song does get annoying after a while. I love some of the props in the maze, such as the game room and the parodies of popular toys and brands. As much as I do enjoy this maze, it was the first haunt maze I ever went through after all. I think it's time for the Toy Factory to shut down for good. Our final maze is Cornstalkers, located in the Barney Oldfield Speedway. This maze is a corn maze where the scarecrows have come to life and are looking for new victims. Cornstalkers is the only maze at Halloween Haunt that I hate. I don't find it scary, and I don't particularly like the scenery. The actors had cool costumes and masks, however, that wasn't enough. It's the only maze that remains from the inaugural 2008 maze lineup, and that age is definitely showing. 2016 did see some new props, such as a windmill, but because you can still hear Toy Factory before you've even finished the maze, Cornstalkers' days are definitely numbered. That's it for the mazes. Now, let's move on to the scare zones, which don't really scare me, but do deliver a fun environment to go through. The first scare zone on our list is Evacuate, which is in the area from the Demon's Entrance to the Food Festival Pavilion. The scare zone is based on a highway which has been overrun by zombies. It definitely looks like a highway where people just upped and left. There are many cars lining the zone, and the cars look beat up and used, which made it that much better. The actors and their makeup/prosthetics were awesome, and I do like this scare zone. The next scare zone is Killer Clown Town, located in the older Planet Snoopy area, formerly Nickelodeon Central. This scare zone takes you through a circus where the clowns are looking for revenge against their demeaning audiences. There are lots of props from the former Carnival Maze and Gauntlet scare zone, and it's kind of fun to see the props being used again. This scare zone is definitely my favorite. I love seeing these twisted clowns and the way they act. The sideshow that happens every so often is also amazing, and it reminds me of the old shocking sideshow of Freak Show that was at Haunt for a while, minus the 7-foot giant. Our final scare zone is Lockdown, located in the area adjacent to Insanitarium/Dead and Breakfast. It used to be full of insane characters, however, all references to insanity have been removed. The only things left from the 2015 version of Lockdown are the large steel boxes, which store the Winterfest stuff, so I've heard, and the ungodly amounts of fog pumped in that area. This is my least favorite scare zone, since there wasn't a main theme this year. Hopefully it will be replaced and revamped next year to correctly accommodate whatever maze is in Dead and Breakfast's spot. The time has come for me to talk about Skeleton Key. Unlike the past 2 years' Skeleton Key rooms, which gave an extra experience relating to a maze within said maze, the 2016 Skeleton Key rooms were strewn around the park and had different themes. A fair warning for those who don't like spoilers, I will be revealing exactly what happened in each Skeleton Key room. If you don't want to hear about the details, I'll sum up the entire year's Skeleton Key experience here. It was crappy. The only 2 rooms that I felt were good were Vanity and Dominated. The other 3 were severely lacking. I'm hoping that this year's Skeleton Key offerings will be way better than last year. Without further ado, here are the Skeleton Key experiences in detail. The first one was Bone Crusher, located in the store next to the main Gold Striker gift shop, the one where you exit the ride from. When you walked into the room, you were greeted by 2 pharaohs who explained the entire story of mummification and its importance to Egyptians. Then, you were placed in a chamber where the 2 walls to your left and right inflated with air, making you feel trapped. Sounds of beetles and scarabs crawling across the floor played, and once the walls deflated, you were told that you have been deemed unworthy of being mummified, and you were let out of the room. This room wasn't very scary at all. Cool experience, but not great. I did like the main pharaoh who spoke to me. The next room was Dominated, which was located next to the queue entrance to Roadkill Roadhouse. In this room, you were led to a couch where a woman in a huge coat greeted you. As she was talking, she took her coat off, revealing some rather revealing clothes. She then handcuffed you to whoever was with you at that time. I don't know what would have happened if you were alone, since I went with a friend, and forced you through a maze of chains, which you had to climb through, over, and under to escape. The woman belittled you the entire time, making loud sounds with her whip and calling you chicken. Once you escaped, she had some final words for you, took the handcuffs off, and let you free. I loved this room. No, it's not because of the revealing clothing. I just loved the vibes the woman was giving off through her belittling and such. It made it that much more uncomfortable going through the chains. I almost went through where I wasn't supposed to, and she acted like she was going to slap me with her whip. Overall, this was one of the 2 rooms that I thoroughly enjoyed. The third room was Hoarder House, located in one of the small buildings near Boomerang Bay. This one started with you entering a living room full of cluttered mess. You could smell the dust the moment you walked in, and it wasn't a pretty smell. There were also cats littered around the building, and they meowed like crazy. The actor playing the hoarder came out and started talking about what he wanted to do to you. He made it sort of comical, yet terrifying. Then revealed that the key to leave was swallowed by one of the cats, and you had to search through a litter box to find the key. After you found the key, the hoarder led you through a door and let you out. This one sucked because of what happened after the experience. Once he let you through the door, you just went into a barren hallway with a black curtain covering half of the empty space. I was expecting it to feel like a house, not a living room set in a television studio. The actor was great and made the experience quite good, but overall, this room was lacking. The next room was Sorority Slaughter, which was located in the building between the Great America Pavilion entrance and the Theatre Royale underneath Flight Deck. You walked into what looked like a small apartment, and balloons and streamers were everywhere, celebrating the new sorority sisters. A young woman came up and explained the sorority and told the story of how someone was killed in the bathroom. Then, in a feat of utter stupidity, you were led into the bathroom where you played the famous game of Bloody Mary. Look into a mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times to become an official sister. Unfortunately for you, Bloody Mary appeared through the mirror and killed the young woman. This room was awful just for the utter stupidity of the young woman's character. Someone died in the bathroom, so let's go to the bathroom. Great logic there, girl. The design of the apartment was cool, and I got to look at it a bit closer during Winterfest since it was used for Mrs. Claus's cookie decorating station. Unfortunately, that was the only good thing about it. The final Skeleton Key room was Vanity, located in the Great America Theater next to Patriot. You walked into the theater to meet a man who asked you about your application to the theater. He told a brief history of the theater, and a woman came out in a dress, her hair covering the side of her face. The man and woman had a conversation about how she wasn't hired because she wasn't pretty, and they revealed there was a pyrotechnic accident at the theater, scarring half the woman's face and burning the underside of the man's ear. She asks if she's pretty and gets mad at the man. The man leads you to a mirror hallway with thick fog and strobe lights. After you escape, he tells you that you'll have a rescheduled meeting to be disclosed, and the woman comes out and chokes him, telling you to get out before she takes you, too. I loved this room because of the dialogue between the man and the woman. It made you feel uncomfortable and rose tension throughout the room. The mirror hallway was extremely disorienting. My friend got out minutes before me and was overall the best room there. So, that wraps it up for my long overdue 2016 review. I will be starting the 2017 review the day after Haunt ends, but no guarantees that it'll be finished the day after Haunt officially ends, since I'll have to write the script and whatnot. I will be having more speculation videos coming up over the next few months, and I might be filming at the park regarding Haunt. There might also be a blog too. The blog and in-park filming are still possibilities. Nothing is confirmed or denied yet. I'll have to see if I have all time to fit all of that into my schedule. More info to follow, Screamsters!